Hi there, and welcome to today's video. If you or a loved one is noticing changes in body odor as you age, you're not alone. In this video, we'll talk about why senior body odor happens and, most importantly, what simple steps you can take to reduce it, comfortably, naturally, and with confidence. Let's get started. What causes body odor and how can I treat it? Body odor is related to secretions from your sweat glands. When sweat is released from your glands, it's colorless and odorless. But when bacteria on your body break down dried sweat, a strong smell can result. Bromidrosis is foul-smelling body odor related to your sweat. Perspiration itself actually has no odor. It's only when sweat encounters bacteria on the skin that a smell can emerge. Other than body odor, BO, bromidrosis is also known by other clinical terms, including osmodrosis and bromidrosis. Bromidrosis can often be treated or prevented through changes to your hygiene habits, though there are medical treatment options as well. Causes. You have two types of sweat glands, apocrine and eccrine. Bromidrosis is usually related to secretions by apocrine glands, but both types of sweat glands can lead to abnormal body odor. Apocrine glands are located primarily in the underarm, groin, and breast areas. Sweat from the apocrine glands tends to be thicker than that produced by the eccrine glands. Apocrine sweat also contains chemicals called pheromones, which are hormones meant to have an effect on others. People and animals release pheromones to attract a mate, for example. When apocrine sweat is released, it's colorless and odorless. When bacteria on the body start to break down dried sweat, an offensive smell can result in people with bromidrosis. Apocrine glands don't become active until puberty. That's why BO isn't usually an issue among young children. Eccrine sweat glands are all over the body. Eccrine sweat is also odorless and colorless at first, though it does contain a mild salty solution. A bad smell can also develop when bacteria on the skin break down eccrine sweat. The smell of eccrine sweat can also reflect certain foods you may have eaten, such as garlic, alcohol you've consumed, or certain medications you've taken. Diagnosis. Bromidrosis is easy to diagnose. Your doctor should be able to identify the condition based on your scent. You may have no discernible odor if you're not sweating or recently showered. Your doctor may ask to see you after you've been exercising or may have you exercise on a treadmill, for example, at the appointment. Your doctor will also review your medical history to look for possible underlying causes of your BO. Conditions such as diabetes and liver and kidney disease can contribute to an abnormally strong body odor. Treatment. The appropriate treatment approaches for bromidrosis are based on the severity of the condition. In some cases, preventive measures are enough. In more serious cases, removal of the offending sweat glands may be the answer. Your treatment options include Botox, botulinum toxin A, Botox, which works by blocking nerve impulses to the muscles, can be injected into the underarm to block nerve impulses to the sweat glands. The downside of Botox treatment is that it wears off after a while, so you may need it a few times a year. Botox is also used for sweaty hands and feet. Liposuction. One way to cut down on apocrine sweat is to remove the sweat glands themselves. You may have heard about liposuction in relation to removing fat from your midsection or elsewhere in the body. Special tubes are carefully inserted into the body, and fat is extracted. The same concept can be applied to sweat glands under your arms. A very small suction tube called a cannula is inserted just under the skin. It's then grazed along the underside of your skin, removing sweat glands as it goes. This process may leave some glands in place that can continue to cause excessive sweating. In some cases, early positive results of less sweating and odor are the result of damaged nerves. When the nerves stunned during liposuction repair themselves, the same problems can return. There is some encouraging progress in the use of ultrasonic liposuction, which uses vibrating energy to better remove the targeted sweat glands. Surgery. A more invasive way of removing sweat glands or the nerves that trigger sweating is through surgery. A procedure called endoscopic sympathectomy uses small incisions and special tools to destroy the nerves in the chest that lead to the underarm sweat glands. The procedure is effective for 5 to 10 years. Another minimally invasive treatment is called electrosurgery. It's done with tiny insulated needles. Over a period of several treatments, A doctor can use the needles to remove the sweat glands. A surgeon can also remove the sweat glands themselves through a more traditional operation. This starts with an incision in the underarm. It allows the surgeon to see clearly where the glands are located. This type of surgery is called a skin resection, and it does leave some scarring on the surface of your skin. It tends to be used with people who also have hidradenitis, a chronic skin condition that leaves you with lumps in the armpits and elsewhere in the body. Home remedies. Before any invasive procedure is attempted, you should try some basic hygiene strategies. These can help reduce the number of bacteria interacting with your sweat. These life hacks for beating BO are a great place to start. Because bromidrosis is triggered by the action of bacteria on the skin, frequent washing may be enough to neutralize the bacteria. Washing at least daily with soap and water may help. If the smell is localized to the armpits, for example, you can focus your cleansing efforts there. An antiseptic soap and antibacterial creams containing erythromycin and clindamycin may also help. A strong deodorant or antiperspirant can play a key role in minimizing odor. Trimming the hair in your underarms is also recommended. You should also wash your clothes regularly and remove clothes that are sweaty as soon as you can. While some clothes can be worn more than once before washing as a general rule, if you have bromidrosis, you may need to wash after every wear. An undershirt may help keep odor from reaching your outer layers of clothing. Complications. For some people, bromidrosis means more than having BO. It can be a sign of another medical condition. These include trichomycosis axillaris, an infection of the hair follicles under the arm; erythrasma, a superficial skin infection; intertrigo skin rash; type 2 diabetes. Obesity can also be a contributing factor to bromidrosis, too. The bottom line: some odor under the arms or from other sweaty parts of the body is normal, especially during puberty. Bathing regularly, using a deodorant or antiperspirant, and wearing clean clothes may be enough to neutralize minor BO. You should try those approaches first. However, if the problem can't be contained with hygiene, talk with your doctor about other treatment options. Consult a dermatologist to see if a skin condition may be making things worse. Bromidrosis can be a difficult condition, but it's treatable for many people. Do older people actually smell different? Body odor changes with age, and that's perfectly natural. Have you ever heard that older adults have a distinct scent? Well, research confirms it, and it's not necessarily an unpleasant one. In fact, it's simply a natural part of how our bodies change over time. Think about the scent of a newborn baby, soft, fresh, and unmistakable. Then consider a teenage boy. His scent is very different, often stronger and more noticeable. Just like these life stages, older adults also develop a unique body odor that many describe as mildly sweet and slightly musty. Despite what pop culture might suggest, a 2012 study found that most people don't actually mind this scent. Interestingly, the smell only tends to be perceived as unpleasant when people know it's coming from an older person. Hinting at the role age bias might play in how we interpret body odor. Why does our body odor change? The answer lies in chemistry. As we age, certain compounds in our bodies begin to break down differently. One byproduct of this process is a compound called nonenal. It's believed to form when omega-7 unsaturated fatty acids degrade, and it has only been detected in people over the age of 40, increasing gradually with age. Importantly, this has nothing to do with hygiene. Rather, it's the result of natural interactions between skin bacteria and changing body chemistry. The bacteria on our skin, along with volatile organic compounds, shape the unique scent our bodies produce. And these elements evolve throughout our lives. Is there a purpose behind this change? Experts think there might be. All age groups, from infants to middle-aged adults, tend to have their own scent. Evolutionarily, this may have helped with bonding, like the irresistible baby smell that draws parents in, or even with choosing a healthy mate, since body odor can signal fertility and well-being. In that light, the scent that comes with aging might be part of a bigger picture, one that helped humans survive and thrive over generations. What the research really says. In the 2012 study, researchers had 41 participants from different age groups: young adults, middle-aged, and older adults. wear specially prepared shirts for 5 nights. After collecting and analyzing the odor from the underarm pads, they asked a group of people to smell the samples and guess the age and sex of each wearer. Surprisingly, participants had a hard time telling apart the scents of young and middle-aged people. But the scent from older adults stood out, not because it was strong or unpleasant, but because it was simply distinct. Should you worry about it? Not at all. While some companies, especially in Japan, have marketed products aimed at masking the scent of nonenal, there's little evidence they work, or that they're even necessary. In reality, any scented product you enjoy can help if you're concerned. Or better yet, embrace it. Your natural scent is part of your story, a reflection of the life you've lived. Chances are, most people either won't notice it or won't mind at all. Bottom line, it's completely normal for body odor to change with age. This is likely due to natural chemical changes in the body, including the presence of nonenal. Rather than seeing it as something negative, we can understand it as just another part of the journey through life. Unique, natural, and nothing to be ashamed of. Loss of smell linked to Alzheimer's cognitive impairment and biomarkers. Decline in sense of smell is connected to faster buildup of Alzheimer's disease-related pathology seen in brain scans, according to new research focused on older adults who live outside of nursing homes. The findings provide additional evidence that loss of smell, known as anosmia, is a key early sign of Alzheimer's-related cognitive impairment and the accumulation of associated harmful proteins, such as amyloid beta and tau. The research, led by NIA scientists, was published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. Decline in sense of smell had previously been confirmed as an early warning sign for Alzheimer's in both human and animal studies, but its connection to the uptick of dementia-related brain imaging biomarkers over time had not been as closely studied in larger populations of older adults. For this study, the team tracked 364 participants from the Baltimore Longitudinal Study of Aging, BLSA, over an average period of about 2.5 years. The NIA-led BLSA is the longest-running study of healthy aging in America. The participants were initially cognitively normal and given baseline cognitive and odor identification tests and PET scans, a type of brain imaging that can detect amyloid beta and tau deposits associated with Alzheimer's and related dementias. Over the study period, 17 participants, or 5% of the total tracked, were diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, MCI, of which 11 cases were associated with Alzheimer's, 3 with vascular dementia, and 1 with frontotemporal dementia. 2 were unspecified based on clinical characteristics. The research team found that each point of lower odor identification test performance was associated with a 22% higher chance of developing MCI. This relation remained similar even after the investigators adjusted for age, sex, race, education, olfactory test version, apolipoprotein E gene, apoepsilon-4 carrier status, smoking, elevated depressive symptoms, and vascular disease. The PET brain scans of this subset of participants showed that lower olfactory scores were associated with higher levels of Alzheimer's pathology in the brain, particularly in regions associated with the sense of smell, including parts of the orbital frontal cortex, and regions important to memory and learning, such as the temporal lobe. Further, participants with greater olfactory decline over time had higher levels of amyloid and tau in some regions related to both smell and memory function. These results indicate that loss of olfactory function is closely tied to both the level and progression of neuropathological damage seen in Alzheimer's. The study provides new evidence that may explain why poorer sense of smell is an early warning sign for Alzheimer's-related MCI. The researchers hope to follow up on this work to look deeper into whether olfaction can predict other types of dementia-related neurodegenerative changes. This research was supported by the Intramural Research Program Grant Z01, AG00015-57 and NIA Grant P30 AG0666507. These activities relate to NIA's AD plus ADRD research implementation milestone 9.m. Develop diagnostics/biomarkers in asymptomatic individuals. Why do I have smelly armpits? Armpits smell when your sweat comes into contact with the bacteria on your skin. Certain practices may help reduce body odor. Smelly armpits may make you self-conscious, even though most people have dealt with them before. Commonly known as body odor, BO, and technically as bromidrosis, malodorous armpits aren't usually a cause for concern. You can take steps to help manage and prevent armpit odor, which may ease some of your anxiety. What causes smelly armpits? Your body is covered with sweat glands because sweating is an essential function that helps us cool down. There are two main kinds trusted source of sweat glands. Eccrine glands. These cover much of your body and open directly on the skin's surface. Apocrine glands. These develop in areas with many hair follicles, like the groin and armpit. Instead of opening up to the surface of the skin, apocrine glands empty into the hair follicle and then open up to the surface. The apocrine glands are typically associated with smelly armpits and malodorous sweat. When your body heats up, eccrine glands release water to help cool it down. This is usually odorless. Apocrine glands, which develop during puberty trusted source, also secrete an odorless fluid. But when it comes into contact with bacteria on the skin, it can develop an odor-trusted source commonly associated with smelly armpits. This is why puberty is the time most people start to notice smelly armpits. Research also suggests that consuming certain foods or having specific nutrient deficiencies may impact the composition of your sweat, which can affect its smell. Sweating is a natural bodily function, but some people sweat more than usual. This is called hyperhidrosis. People with hyperhidrosis sweat excessively, especially where there are many eccrine glands trusted source, like in the hands, feet, and armpits. How to treat smelly armpits. There are currently no official guidelines on how best to manage body odor, such as smelly armpits. Management may depend on the underlying cause and severity of the body odor. When hygiene is causing smelly armpits, maintaining proper hygiene and regularly cleaning your skin may help manage bacteria that could be contributing to smelly armpits. A good place to start is taking a daily shower with an antibacterial, antimicrobial, or fungicide soap. You may also wish to consider using an over-the-counter, OTC, antiperspirant or deodorant after bathing to help remedy armpit odor. Sometimes you need to try different kinds to see which one works best for you. Antiperspirants help to reduce the amount of sweat produced by temporarily blocking the pores that release sweat. As less sweat comes to the surface of your skin, less odor results. Deodorants stop sweat from smelling but don't stop sweat itself. These products are often alcohol-based, turning your skin acidic. This prevents the odor-triggering bacteria from forming. When hyperhidrosis is causing armpit body odor. If OTC deodorants aren't effective, consider speaking with a healthcare professional. They may recommend several different prescription treatments. Botox injections. A Botox injection into the sweat glands may help decrease both armpit sweating and odor. This is a common treatment trusted source for people with hyperhidrosis. A laser treatment. This may help destroy hair follicles and apocrine sweat glands in the armpits, which could reduce sweating and odors. Radiofrequency, electroacupuncture, and microwave therapy may also help. A surgery. In severe cases, a doctor may recommend different types of surgery to more permanently treat bromidrosis, including local skin excision, radical excision, and liposuction, among others. A healthcare professional can help you decide which treatment may be best for you and offer guidance on the possible side effects, risks, and costs of each treatment. How to prevent smelly armpits. The following measures may help you prevent underarm odor from developing in the first place. Take daily showers with soap. Regularly showering after strenuous activities like working out or playing sports gets rid of the bacteria and sweat that cause odors. To wear loose-fitting, breathable fabrics like cotton, linen, and moisture-wicking blends. This is especially important if you sweat a lot. These will allow your body to stay cooler better than constricting clothes made from non-breathable fabrics. Remove hair. A 2015 study trusted source found that shaving or waxing the armpits significantly reduced armpit odor. This is because cleaning is more effective on shaved or waxed skin. Relieving stress. Stress may cause sweat glands to produce sweat, so managing stress and anxiety might help you modulate your stress reaction and minimize your physiological sweat response. Sweating and body odor. Overview. Sweating and body odor are common when you exercise or you're too warm. They're also a natural response to hormonal changes and stress. Most people have a natural body odor, even if they don't sweat much. A change in your body odor or how much you sweat can signal a health problem. The medical condition of sweating too much is called hyperhidrosis. For sweating and body odor that isn't caused by a health problem, self-care habits often can help ease the symptoms. Symptoms. Sweating and body odor most often affect the underarm and groin areas, the palms, the bottom of the feet, and the head, face, and scalp. It's common for some people to sweat more or less than other people. Body odor also can vary from person to person. It might smell tangy, oniony, sour, or some other strong odor. When to see a doctor. See a doctor or other healthcare professional if you suddenly begin to sweat more than usual. Sweating disrupts your daily life. Do you have night sweats for no clear reason? Your body odor changes for no clear reason. Do you have a family history of hyperhidrosis? Causes. Sweating is the body's way of cooling itself. The nervous system activates the sweat glands when you're too warm. Sweating also occurs when you're under stress. The two main types of sweat glands are eccrine glands and apocrine glands. Eccrine glands occur over most of the body and open directly onto the surface of the skin. When your body temperature rises, these glands release fluids that cool your body as they evaporate. Apocrine glands are found in areas where you have hair, such as the armpits and groin. These glands release a milky fluid when you're stressed. This fluid is odorless until it combines with bacteria on the skin. Risk factors. Risk factors for sweating and body odor are body hair, hormonal changes, fever, stress, heat exposure, being overweight, taking certain medicines, using too much alcohol.